readings that we are familiar with in most meetings, and let's go to the ninth step promises that we find on page 83 and 84 of the big book, and see what that stirs up in Paul's presentation today. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. Does that do anything for you today, Paul?
Yes. Well, can you hear with the chimes?
Yes.
All right. The message is really in the chimes.
Aha.
Yes, it's coded. It's going into the audio system. Yes. To sort of erupt in the thinking system. Yeah. You'll now think by musical notes instead of conceptual right angle boxes. Yeah. So, yes, this is step 9. When you get to this point of the process, and it's pretty, in its vague way, the steps are pretty specific. Most people have a similar experience around each step. Yeah. Because really, we're getting relief from the bondage of self. It's not personal. The bondage was impersonal. How it feels is personal. That's part of its magic. Yeah. So it would always amaze me when that they had relief, and they described it so well that it could pretty much box your experience of it. Yeah. Because again, our experience of the relief, what we're being relieved from, is singular in a sense. Yeah. Where may be multiple, so our experiences will vary, but the relief is from something that is not, it doesn't have a massive population. It's a pattern or a parasitical movement, yes, with finite traits that after a while, enough people that lived under it, finally grace came in so that there could be a way of seeing it that would lead to being free from it. Yeah. Which is one of those specific vehicles is recovery, the 12 steps. So it's not so much finding joy, it's relief from something. Yeah. And then joy becomes available. Yeah. So sort of as if we're restrained So we have the ability to reach 20 feet, but we're only reaching 8 feet. So we're restrained, we're bound by this idea of being a self quite a lot. And a lot of our potentiality or possibilities are severely diminished by looking at life through this lens of self-centeredness, yeah. And then actually having life taken back through that like a vacuum. Yeah, it's a failed system, really. It's myopic in its nature. And it's dualistic in its boundaries, yes? Yeah. You want to get expanded, yet it contracts around that. It wants to reach peace, but it can't enjoy it. Yeah. So, yeah, these are incredible descriptions of, the relief, yeah? Put it in such perfect words, really. So I'll just read it again because I like it. We will be amazed before we are halfway through. Yes, that rings true, eh? Yeah. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. Yes. It sure didn't look like the old attempts of being free and happy. Yeah. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. I'd like to see more of that in our community. Being bound to the idea of being the doer, that becomes a sort of nasty gift that keeps on giving. So shame and guilt can be harvested from an act that you weren't even the cause of 35 years ago. So obviously one of the aspects of that would be regret. Yeah. There's a lot more shame, guilt, all this shit. Yeah. So the funny thing is, the selfing likes to keep a big shoe in the doorway. It doesn't want that door to close because it harvests a lot of shit from it. Yeah. So under the idea that we are the gorilla that we were dancing with, we believe we're at fault for not stopping the dance. Yes. We believe that we should have known better. We may not even believe it, but what we're relying on does. Yeah. And usually the last person that's forgiven is us, really. We always are stuck on that one fucking hook. Yeah. And in a way, there's no way out of it as self. Self can't get out of that self. Yes. But there is a way of being relieved from it. Yeah? And one of the first starting points is the 9th step in AA, man. Because the way I dealt with the past before actually gave a lot of life to it. It had such a dominating role in my present day experience. Yeah. That it was like a weather front. Even though the day was sunny, it was still overcast. Yeah. Because I had so much shit that my solution to not dealing with the shit was making up new shit. Yeah. Like current shit, so I wouldn't have to look at the old shit. And AA got me physically sober and put a stop to that. Yeah, and after a few months, I hadn't been making any new shit, so I started getting the balls to be able to look at the old shit through the program and the support that was offered, yeah? And I tell you, when I heard one of the explanations of alcoholism as a disease, it really hit. And I remember when I sort of got bushwhacked by an amend. I was in the process of trying to impress a girl I was with, and suddenly, and my friend and I took her and his girlfriend on a motorcycle ride. We went back to his place, and there were stairs. We went up the stairs, and a lady passed us on the stairs. I noticed her. She had blue jeans because there was a lot of paint on her pants and stuff. And that was that. We went into his apartment, do whatever we were doing, feeling uncomfortable because we were only a few months sober. And then my friend had to go down to the bike. He forgot something. He came back up and he says, "Oh, my neighbor wants to ask you a question or speak with you." And I thought he told her I'm a house painter and I'll give her advice for painting her apartment. So she comes in where we're sitting and she says, "Hello, Paul. Do you remember me?" And I go, "No." She says, "You owe me $500." She had changed. She had gained weight, but she had been a roommate in an apartment that I had. That when people moved in, I took the whatever you call it, the deposit. It never went to the landlord. It went to me, and I spent it. Yeah, and then finally I got kicked out after a few years, whatever. So uh, she had been one of those unlucky roommates. After moving in, got out quickly, but she didn't go. She didn't leave with the $500. so, there I was. You would think I would feel a lot of guilt or shame, but I didn't, because I truly knew that what I did to her, I would have done to anybody unless you could physically stop me under the influence. It was just super clear. Yeah. So that old reaction of feeling guilty and shame didn't come up. It was awesome. There I was with my pants down, and I wasn't that embarrassed because I realized something had used me for transportation, and I'd done a lot of shit. Yeah. But I didn't actually, I'm responsible and accountable, but I wasn't the cause. Yeah. Something had used me. Yeah, I was driven by 100 forms of something. Usually, when you're driven by something, you arrive somewhere. So I arrived at a lot of consequences. Yeah. And now those consequences are what people are thriving, growing guilt and shame from. When basically what initiate that arrival at that consequence wasn't you. You were taken over by something. Yes? Isn't that the feeling? You're not gonna, I don't care if you sat me down for a week and said, "You did all that." I just don't get that. I don't. Yeah. I just don't. I don't go to that place because I'm not being driven there by the same thing that like to take all of us to those places. Usually institution, jails, and death. And, the steps right before institution, jails, and death. It tends to see like the alcoholic life isn't an expansive one. It pretty much narrows where we end up at the 3 parking spaces. Most of us, institution, jails, and death. Yes. I mean, we're thinking we're free to get loaded and shit, yet we end up going into that tight anus up the ass of self. Yeah. And then all these people that you think you're so different from, what are they doing here? Yeah, because we were all driven by the same thing. Why not recognize it as something other than you? Has it worked? Has it worked to still, after all these years of being recovered, done everything, did the amends, still feeling like you were responsible for that shit? Does that still work now? It worked when we came in because our drive was to be irresponsible and blame everyone else. So we did that. We made the amends. Yeah. I showed up. I told people, "Hey, you know what I did to you? I'm really interested in not doing that to anyone else. And I'm in this program of AA, and this is what we do. We make amends." Not only, it's not about sorry. I'm telling you, yes, I did that. And I'm feeling pretty good that I'm not going to do it anymore. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we did that. Now let's look at it. Did we really do it? Yeah. I don't believe so. I don't. Yeah. Why am I not doing it now then? Yeah. You would think after 34 years it would come up something. If that's Paul, then Paul's been pretty much erased. Yeah. But it isn't, yes? It isn't, Paul. We were taken over by the same thing. Yeah? It resides in the mind. It's not of a body. It drives us fucking crazy. And it drives us to drink. And it drives us a lot of places. Yeah? And when the story is told, we're seen as the driver every fucking step of the way. Yes, in the beginning, we have to do that. We've got to admit that. But hopefully, there's another wave in your recovery, which is okay, I did the amends, everything. I'm accountable for that shit in this world, but I'm not responsible. Yeah? You're not going to pin it on me anymore. Yeah? Yes? Yes. So, maybe a lot of people in the first few years of AA didn't reach that point. You know, they had to take responsibility. That's part of getting to the point of seeing something did to you and through you what you never would have done by yourself. That's a phase, but there's another phase after it, which is accountability, where, yeah, my dog shat on the neighbor's lawn, but the emphasis is on dog, not me. Yes? I did not take a shit on the neighbor's lawn. The dog did. Yes? I'm accountable for the dog, but I'm not responsible for the shit. Yeah? Yeah. So it's I don't know, to me it's huge, the shift of that. It's huge. It's not just a like, oh, there should have been a comma after the period. No, it's huge. Yeah? To see what's driven you crazy as not you opens up the possibility of being free from it. If it keeps being taken as you, you're going to try to be free as it. That's one of the biggest forms of the bondage of self, is trying to be free as self. Yeah. How does that work? It doesn't. You're bound. Maybe while you're bound, the clothing is different. You have more respect from others, whatever, but you're bound to this idea still. Yeah. What is it we ask for? And I think the third step or the seventh step, please relieve us of this bondage of self. Yeah. So what? So I can have a great life? That may happen. No, so that I can be useful to others and myself. Yes. This is the presentation that brings us here every day. If I walked into a meeting and I heard this understanding, these talks wouldn't happen, probably. Or there'd be many more of them by other people. But I didn't. And I haven't for years. And I wondered why for quite a long time. I did. Yeah. And then I realized this is an incredible strategy for the parasite. Yeah, to extend its life at our expense. It's convinced us it's us. Yeah. No matter how much evidence comes in, it's the habit. You just lean into it. I did it. I thought it. I felt it. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? If I saw a lot of people exhibiting incredible chilled outness and relief, far out. But I don't. Yeah. I don't. Not on a broad level. So I don't believe how they're viewing the exact nature of the wrong is correct. Because I would imagine if you viewed it in a correct way, you'd have relief. Yeah, just like if I had a rash and I thought it was psoriasis, yeah, and I put a lot of psoriasis medicine, but it's eczema. Once I put the eczema ointment, I get relief. Therefore, eczema. That was the diagnosis, not psoriasis. Even though there may become some common traits, but it's not psoriasis. Yes? Hallelujah. Now, how do I know what it's true? There's no rash. It's not promoting more rash. Yes? It's decreasing it. I'm on to something. Yeah. So if you can cohabitate with thoughts, great, you're onto something. But you're never going to if they're called yours. No fucking way. No way. Yeah. So, uh, yeah, yeah. So that's it, I guess. They're self-explanatory. Hopefully all of us have felt those effects. Yeah. Of course, one of them was everyone thought uh, being relieved of the fear of financial insecurity was that they were going to have money all the time. This is it. So that would bump people out because they still had, insecurity, but there was no fear around it. They thought, no, the insecurity would be dealt with, and it probably can be. But you know what I mean? The head, how it reads it, is usually ends up disappointed. It should be more about me, really. Less about them, more about me. That will make them much happier. That's the self-centered view. So, yeah, I have a great admiration for relief, man. I just do. Relief that's reliable. Yeah. Relief that doesn't demand much. Yeah. That's always available at all times, right where you are. It probably won't take 40 breaths to reach it, maybe a couple, because you're right in the vicinity now. Yeah. That's your neighborhood. The serenity and the peace. Yeah. You're not fucking out to lunch anymore. You're right there. So, oh, wait a minute. I'm getting caught up. Take 4 breaths. Yeah. the imaginary storm disperses. Yes. Oh, I'm going to be totally fucked. Wait a minute. Yeah. Help someone else. Oh, I'm fine. Yes. Yeah. It won't be like moving mountains. You'll see them as molehills quickly. Yeah. You'll just step over a lot of shit you were super afraid of having to climb. You'll just step over it. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyone want to share anything?
Great, Paul. Thank you. I don't see any hands right yet. Can we talk about the word my for a little bit?
I'd rather not, but yeah, sure.
Okay.
No. My, to me, it's a clumsy way to point at an activity that I wasn't privy to. I wasn't aware going on. Yes? Sort of like a dry current. Like when you're in the ocean, you'll feel a current in the water. It's in the water, but you can feel some force. This is sort of like a dry current. You don't really notice it, but it moves us. Yes, something happens. And what happens is the word my is a distribution of meaning to what comes after it. Yeah. So a simple example, money, the word money. I want everyone here to have a lot of money. Now I put the word my in front of it. I don't want any of you to have my money. Did it change the meaning of money? Yes, it did. Yeah? Did it create like almost a wall around the money? My money. Yes. You see, that's difficult. You can't weigh that. Yeah. You can't, get a ruler and see how tall it is. It's a movement of meaning that affects us all day. Yeah. So there's a problem, and then you rise up, and then you park right in front of it, and you call it my problem. That's a big problem right there. Yes. You're just bringing a lot of meaning to the problem with the my. Just like, girlfriend, you're having a great time with a girl, and then somehow she gets christened my girlfriend. Now you're up on stalking charges a few weeks later. You feel like you should be able to go into her emails because it's your girlfriend. You know what I mean? The whole meaning of that thing that's after the my changes by the influence of the my. That's meaning. That's what life is a whole lot of meaning. Yeah? Being given. And that meaning being given to life is issuing from where we are. We are the well of meaning that is given to life. Yes? And that word my is sort of like if there was a bunch of cows and that cow was branded with the word my, you would know they were from the self ranch, the self-centered ranch. Yes? That my would inform you where the fucking cow's from. Yeah? Yes? So it's important. If you recognize the word my, you're catching a current of selfish self-centeredness occurring. Yeah? You're recognizing it like a current in the water. You feel it finally. Hallelujah. Yes? So the word my is an incredible moment of when meaning is going to be distributed to something. That's going to change the something that's after it. Yeah? I much rather have the higher power be before the problem than my problem. Seriously. I would like to have the higher power before life than my life. Yeah? I would like to have the whatever before my. Yeah? With my girlfriend, what's before my is us. Us. Amelia is part of an us that has me and her in it, but it's bigger than it. Yeah? So Amelia isn't my Amelia. Us is before Amelia, not I. Yes? Different meaning given. Usually different meaning. Usually. So it's hard to sort of calculate meaning. It is. Yet it's the weight and the measures of the day. Yeah? Meaning giving. And we've had enough of self's interpretation of life, I hope. Yeah? It distributes it to life through this vehicle, my. My thoughts are completely, my thought can ruin your day. A thought probably won't, but my thought can. Yes? My feeling can stop the presses. A feeling, just tons of other feelings are coming. Yes? Yeah? Don't you feel the meaning of it all? So there's a lot of potential weight or lightness, and it gets distributed through what we call our life, through us. Yeah? And it's important what is employing us to give meaning to things. Is it the higher power or self? The self would be what we call the old employer in AA. Yeah? We have a new employer. This new employer being all powerful, obviously being all powerful and being relied on, noticing you don't have much money is not going to produce the fear it does when it's seen as my money. Yeah? So that fear of financial insecurity is available because money now is seen as money, not my money. Yes. Yeah. So that's what life is meaning, giving meaning. Yeah. If something gives us a meaning, that's gonna be the director of the meaning we're gonna see in life. Yes. We need this new employer for sure. Yeah. Because the old employer, it's gonna be the same old, same old. The same old, same old. You may end up being right, but you'll be fucking alone. Yes? Yes. So yeah, the word "my" is very important in the recognition of what's going on. I felt, or whatever downloads it felt, because I've emphasized it for years. It's just we don't see the commerce of meaning. I don't feel. Yeah. You would think that being so obsessed with the activity called Paul, you would know the activities, but the obsession with that one activity called Paul puts you in an out to lunch condition about all the other activities. Really, we don't notice shit. Yeah, do we? No. Yeah. You see it in AA. Some people have an idea what was the worst thing that ever happened to them. That's a pretty big meaning. Yeah. In a life, you would say, in a life that had all this shit happen, this was the worst thing that ever happened. That's a pretty big meaning to give to something, yeah? And then they're in AA for 6 months or something, and now there's a new review, and they realize that was the best thing that ever happened because it led me to coming into AA, and now I'm feeling free from whatever, yes? That's a huge amount of meaning shift from the worst thing to the best thing. It had nothing to do with the thing you were calling the worst thing or the thing you were calling the best thing. It has to do with meaning. Yeah. The meaning that was given has shifted incredibly. And now you're traveling lighter because the meanings are lighter in your life. Yeah. The heavy spigot is my, definitely. It's thick like molasses. Yes. Tough to get down, but you don't want to share. Yeah, so that's how I see it, honey. It's almost as if a current, like in Chinese medicine, they have a thing about a pulse. It's not just the pulse in your blood, and they read a pulse, yeah? And that pulse tells you like this. They have the understanding to diagnose or to see clearly through the understanding of what the pulses mean, like it's your liver or whatever. Yes? This is sort of like a spiritual awakening. You start having a pulse. You can tell the pulses of things. Yeah? You can feel the movement of meaning. You can, yes? You get to see shit that you never used to see. I don't mean see visually. I mean in a sense way or whatever, felt sense, or like an uncanny intuition or whatever. Yes. See, a lot of winds we've never even noticed, though we've been pushed by them a lot. Now you start noticing it, and a lot of it brings up a lot of gratitude and wonder and awe as the appropriate response. And then people are looking at you and going, why? Why are you so? Yeah, because they didn't feel the wind. The wind of grace, maybe. At that moment. They have. But at that moment, I was feeling it. And therefore, that was an appropriate response. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This gives you the ability to see which way the wind's going. Yeah. The spiritual awakening. Yeah. So the word "my" in English is very important. It implies an owning of shit we have nothing really to do with owning. You could apply the we're not in the outcome business idea to it also. See, my problem would be that's my business, yeah? We're not in the outcome business. Problem is a problem. My problem is sort of like the outcome business, yeah? Yeah. We're not in that
Yeah.
business. Yeah, we're not in that outcome business. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. I hope that worked.
Yeah, it does, Paul. Thank you. Judy had her hand up. Let me find Judy.
Let me find
Judy, do you have a question or a comment?
He did a magnificent job with the word "my." I haven't gotten to the point of step 3, giving up that kind of power to anybody. I'm working on it. I'm gradually getting there. And that's that bondage of self you talk about. I want to like punch myself out sometimes. Why can't you do that, Judy? What is it that's keeping you from giving it up to a higher power? And it goes back to trust.
Well, hold on a second. Ask yourself that question right now. What is it? Yeah, don't go back to the trust. Tell you what, say what you feel. What is it that's keeping you from doing that? What comes up immediately, not thought about? Yeah.
I'm going to be let down. It's not going to be.
There you go. Yeah. So, and then you can go, well, what does that mean that you're going to be let down to you?
It means that I have to go back to depending upon myself, which didn't work.
All right. So what does that mean to you, going back and depending upon yourself?
I failed at it.
All right. So what is it? What does that mean to you that you failed?
Well, it's gradually getting to mean nothing anymore. I go to that.
Great.
It just, I wish I had the patience. I want to get there faster, Paul.
Well, that's all auxiliary. Don't worry about that.
Right.
The point is a lot of times when there's a fear of reliance on a higher power, that's coming from the lower power. Yeah.
Right.
So that's not your fear. It's generating it, and then there's the assumption it's yours, but it's not. It's the system's fear. So you can just step right over that and just do a third step right now, honey. You know, just turn your will and life over to the care of that power. Yes. And you're doing the work steps, and now it's a done deal. You can't take it back. You've just made a decision, and that power doesn't take your back and forth or wishy-washiness. It received your decision, and it's in its hands. Yeah, you're out of the business now. You've made a decision. Now this means your job is just to stay on the operating table. Don't get up. Don't play doctor. So your day is set. Fantastic.
Fix.
Yeah, see, you may believe you can take it back, but that which you made a decision to give it to doesn't. You can try to renege as much as you want, but it's a done deal.
I keep coming back, and
a higher power, remember? It nulls and voids the lower power.
Beautiful.
And so someone said this about doing 6 and 7 to his sponsor. He says, well, how do I know, after I give this thing over, how do I know does it work? Well, act as if it did, and there you go. You don't have to wait for a sign. Just act as if you are the sign. And there it is. That's the sign. Yeah. And you're in great hands. Just don't think that all your seeming resistance means it's going to take more time. It doesn't mean shit. The resistance is futile. This isn't about, I have 100 pounds of resistance. That's going to equate into 4 months of removal. No. Yeah, a whole lot of shit can be removed like that in a second. It doesn't. It's not playing. The ounce and pound game. Yeah. Yes. So you're doing the working steps. You've made it. You're in the pocket, so to speak. Yes. You don't have to go anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Your head will drag all this shit up. All of it's like, what do they call them? Straw man, in an argument, brings them up, and then you just see through it. Yeah. Yeah. See, the lower power can't stop the decision you've made to surrender to a higher power. Yeah. It can't. The only way it can is convincing you that it can. Yeah. That's all. And hopefully you're not convinced anymore. Yeah. You're in the state of being convinced that it's time not to be convinced anymore about that shit. And just keep on going on. And, you may not recognize how better you're doing, but others will. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks, Judy, for coming. Always a pleasure to see you here.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Nikki.
Great understanding and the knowing that it happens before we're intellectually aware of it. Shows us where the intellect is. It's just a reflection, isn't it? Rather
Yes.
than the creator.
Yes. It's part of the scene. It's not before the scene. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
PK has his hand up. Paul, are you ready for PK?
Well, who could be ready for PK? I'm as ready as best I can. PK.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, man. I love what you just did with the whole thing with my and the inserting us. Man, what a relief, man. Because, throughout our lives, you could say it's like, I don't want to crosstalk, but if it's okay, Judy, it's my failure. Well, I could think about all my failures. But if I insert us, then I realized it was a collaborative effort. Yeah, maybe I was the lead guitarist, or maybe I was the principal director and producer of the failure, but it wasn't me alone. Hallelujah, man. Who would have thunk that, man? That's why I love it, man. Like, in a way, this is your platform, but it's our platform together, and that's where the magic happens. And also, I guess, where shit gets effed up too is a collaborative, it could go either way. Like when things are going good, it's usually us. And even when they go bad, it's us. It's never real. We're never really alone. I really just love what you did with that, with the us. It just relieves and just takes off so much of the burden of, carrying this heavy load and regret of all the things I've done wrong, Thank goodness, man. That's just such a relief, man. So just wanted to thank you for that, man.
Thank you, PK. Yes.
Yeah. As we say, forget about it.
Forget about it. Yeah. Forget about it.
Yeah, but it's all the language, man. It's amazing, the terminology. Just one little tweak of the wording, could change the whole, the way that, now you don't have to carry this heavy load anymore, man. It's not crushing me anymore,
Yes.
or at least crushing me less or something, I love it, man. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, PK.
Hey, Long Island.
Long Island. I'm so happy you're there and I'm not.
All the places I never wanted to be, with all the people I never wanted to see.
Somebody has to hold down the fort. Thank God it's not me. Long Island. Actually, it's very beautiful, Long Island. It really is. The beaches, and you go on the North Shore of Long Island. It's incredible.
Yeah, the only problem I ever had was the Long Island iced teas. Those, you have you 2 or 3 of those and you're done.
Yes. Well, just like everything else, good and bad comes out of things. Long Island.
Yeah, and the fellowship of these meetings is amazing because, in a way, for me, you get the connection, in a program of recovery, you're led to a state of serenity without, safely and sustainably, without having to drink and drug. Hallelujah, man. I never would have thought, after years of trying to get out of myself through external substances, that if I just sat with myself and with others in the company of others, that whatever I was looking for was always there.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you, even if it's like every meeting you're getting hit over the head with a hammer, it's like I want to be struck by the Zen bitch hammer.
Oh, yeah. I find no pleasure in wielding it, even though I'm smiling.
Awesome.
Nice to see you, PK.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Okay, if anyone else has a question, oh, Oliver. Oliver just raised his hand.
Oliver. Yeah.
Where'd you go, Oliver?
We lost Oliver.
No, he's still here. Let me ask him to unmute again. Come on in, Oliver.
I don't see him, but well, let's go to someone else and go back to Oliver when he shows up.
Okay, I don't see any more hands.
Well, then I'll say goodbye.
Oh, we're not ready to say goodbye. Oh, here's Jason. Jason has, I know he's bringing up some good energy.
All right.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Hey, I'm Jason. It's good to be here. I just wanted to comment on how much I love the wind chimes. The wind chimes must be incorporated. And what I love about it, I listen to them, and at certain points when maybe you're saying something or someone's being said by something, and they'll just come up and like bubble up, like, listen, this is good stuff,
Yeah.
So
Yes, it's
keep the wind chimes.
my music director.
That's right. It's the soundtrack.
Dependent on the wind. No matter how much he manages the chimes, it doesn't go anywhere without the wind.
That's right.
See, where I live in Novato, California, we get a lot of wind in the afternoon also. It's a trip because this place can get hot, so it's pretty good.
Good to have it, yeah.
Thanks.
All right, it's good to see you. Thanks for the chimes and everything else.
Well, let's just say hello to
Oliver just chatted that he can't unmute, that he's not being allowed to unmute. I don't know technically what's going on because I keep asking him to unmute.
higher power.
What's that?
It's the higher power.
Oh, it's not time for him to ask whatever was on his mind, I guess.
Yeah. Who knows? He'll have a chance again. Sorry, Oliver. Yeah. Anyone else? Well, we can just start. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he has to. Someone says in the chat he may have to update his Zoom thing. Yeah. Update the Zoom. It may be too old, I guess. But let's just.
I didn't know they expired. Oh, Catherine just raised her hand.
Yes, hello. I'm French, so it's.
Oh, Catherine is the lady who got in touch with me. Yes.
Yeah, yes. I would like to thank you, Paul, because I love really all that you say. And I would like to ask a question about relationship. Especially difficult relationship. If I understand, is not my relationship.
Yes, that would be nice to have that attitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how to see that? How to see this attitude?
Well, you hear about it, and then It's sort of it takes or it doesn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? The idea is introduced, and either that idea sort of grows on that mental wall or it doesn't right now. You may need to hear it a few times. Yeah. But
Yes.
then the possibility of seeing relationships in a different way than we see them now becomes possible. And there'll be examples of that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
This
Yes.
is what happens because now, even though the failed system is still at work, yeah, there's been an back door put in. Yeah. So some new ideas and new ways of seeing things can come in, yeah, and interrupt the old way of seeing things. Yes?
Yes.
So
Yes.
so hopefully we're here acting like, uh, keeping the back door open and letting ideas come in. Yeah. An idea that doesn't come from the system that thinks it's in the relationship. Yeah. So an
Yes.
idea coming in that may work when it doesn't. Yeah. Like this happened with me very obviously. This word us in English. Yeah. So before, when I was in significant relationships, there would be some level of it's me and her. Yes. Me and
Yes.
her. And after a while, uh, I wasn't trusting her. Yeah. And so me got more defensive. Yeah. And
Yes.
started to pull away and saw her as the reason why I didn't feel good. Yeah. And it usually was inevitable, especially if there was a lot of uh, vulnerability available. Yeah, like I felt like I was getting opened up and I was afraid of what could happen to me. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So this thing sort of was like a ghost that traveled with me through different relationships. And then I've run into the last go around, the last relationship, uh, this idea of us, which I had heard before, was introduced and it landed. Yeah. So now when I see my, let's say we call it my girlfriend, when I see my partner, she's part of an us, a larger thing going on that brings about. And so I'm really more trusting in the us than I am in her or me. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And
Yes.
I find an access to power from the us that wasn't available with me. Yeah. Yeah. And so it would inevitably become me against her in some way.
Yes.
And now the us has sort of uh, brought some fucking clarity around that. Yeah. Into the big picture. So it's just one example of hearing ideas, and maybe they don't seem to catch right away, but they do in time. Yeah. And then your way of seeing changes. Like it says in our thing, you're going to have a new attitude and a new outlook. What is that but a way of seeing? And sometimes that new attitude and a new outlook starts with a planting of an idea that's different than the ideas you're living from. Yeah. Yeah. And so maybe like the old idea I had about difficult relationships is they suck. Now, yeah. Then I had a
Yes.
new idea. There's value in everything. Yeah. And so I learned a lot from the failures. Yeah. I learned a whole lot from the failures, maybe more than from the successes. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I started seeing failures are, are carriers of value just like a success maybe. Yeah. Now that's not how I used to see, but that's how I see now. What happened? The back door was stayed open and ideas got in. Ideas got in through recovery, ideas got in through other things, and some of them have taken hold and have produced big effects. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I can say about it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, because
And I don't know, sometimes there's
yeah.
the thing of it's time to go. Sometimes it ain't. I don't know. I don't have all the train schedule for the station you're in. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So, but I do know there are possibilities of seeing everything in a different way. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Not
You
locking into
yes.
that same old frame. Yeah. So, yeah. But that's all I can basically say now about it.
Thank you.
I'm not in a difficult relationship right now. My experiences is not of a difficult relationship. With almost anything. The cat, the dog.
But for example, when sometimes you can have a little conflict, you can have a different point of view about something, and you don't take all the responsibility of the event. Excuse me if it's not clear, my question, but
I didn't get that last part, but if I was in a difficult relationship or something, I would talk
yeah,
to others,
yes,
yeah, who have experiences. So after the meeting, some people stay around, yes,
yes,
because what we're sharing mostly are principles and the application of principles to things, not the thing itself. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes,
So yeah, so the idea of relationship and my relationship is usually different. That's a
yes,
principle. The principle is there's no one who has relationships as if it's a car or a house or, yeah, it's an
yes,
activity. It's a it's a combined activity. It's not us and them or you and I. It's yeah. So
there's a
we're attempting to see because what I've noticed is the size of a problem doesn't change the principle that applies. Yeah. It's the principle, no matter how big or small, the principle is the same principle in a way. Yeah.
yes,
It
yes,
doesn't have to have, I need a supersized principle for this thing. No.
yes,
Yeah. So I feel the whole way of life of recovery is a slow outgrowing old principles that didn't work and growing into new principles that do. Yeah. And a lot of that growth has to do with what you would call failures and successes. Yeah. that's how you learn. Yeah. So but
yes.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul.
You're welcome, honey. And I'm sorry we haven't gotten around to speak, but it will happen. I just don't.
No, it's
I
okay.
got a lot of things go on, and I get distracted. I go from one to the other. Yeah. So
Oh
yeah.
yes, you are
And I
very
truly feel humbly, though. I truly feel if you come to the talks themselves, it's more of an answer than having to talk to me personally. A lot of the time.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
yeah, the best of whatever Paul can be is in these talks, really.
I
Yeah.
agree, Paul.
Yeah.
It
So
was some shiny.
yes. So yeah. So yeah. But I'm happy to talk with people also. But it's just I feel uh, you know the real craft of crafting or sculpting anything is before ideas. Yeah. Before ideas, the fundamental sense of who is it or what am I? Yeah. I think is the greatest influence. So in recovery, it's important to recognize that which has defeated us is not us.
Yes.
If you keep believing it's you, and you also believe it's what has defeated you, you're going to attempt that. The movement of the head is going to try to avoid and distract and deny, because who wants to know it's relying on what's defeated themselves? But if you see it as other, then there's a keen interest in starting to know about self. Yeah, because by seeing what you're not leads to a freedom from it. Yeah. So, yeah. I believe if I believed I was the one that did all this shit, I would want to avoid any knowledge about Paul, really. I'd be constantly trying to distract myself and avoid. But the beauty, the great relief of this message is you're not that. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes.
something has defeated us, but it's not you. And so
Yes.
let's
But
tell the truth about that. Yeah, yeah. Because if it was you, who wants to bring that up? Yeah, I
yes.
mean, yeah. So I would think the head would like to gloss it all over, but now I can look at the head, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes it's a bad habit, and we can confuse with the. Enfin, we can have a confusion, and we have to take new habits.
Yes.
Enfin, I think.
Well, that's
So
with our community. That's why
yes,
we do the talk, and other people
yes.
stick around sometimes. Yeah. So yeah.
But thank you, because you are very clear, I think. Yes, really clear.
Well, thank you, honey. And yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Paul.
And welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
From
Thank
all of us to all of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And I love when you laugh, your joke and all these things. I think it's very important, because sometimes it's some spiritual teacher are too serious for me.
Yes, yes, sure. Yeah. You gotta, this is like about rule 62, not take yourself so seriously.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Uh,
Thank you very much, Paul.
the ship's going down. Let's throw a party. Hallelujah. You'll finally find you're an aquatic being. Instead of holding on to the ship for dear life, you'll be brought back to your natural environment. Hallelujah.
Yes.
But looked like the end was truly the beginning. I'm an aquatic being. I'm meant to swim, not grab onto shit.
Yes.
But I wanted to put that off to the last fucking moment. Life had so much love for me, it wouldn't let me. And I'm thrown into the sea only to find out that I can swim. Hallelujah. Yes, so, yeah.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Anyone else? Or we're gonna.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Catherine. And that looks like it's it for today, Paul.
Yeah, great. I gotta drive somewhere for an oil change.
Uh-oh.
Now, it's not you not only have to make an appointment for an oil change, you got to call them up before to see if the appointment is still there. Because I went there the other day with an appointment and there seemingly was no appointment. So I got to call them. I'm sure I have an appointment. Are you sure I have an appointment? Yes. Okay.
Oh my goodness. What a process.
It's funny. Yeah. Okay.
Don't
Only
you
ask
know
if you
who I
make an
am?
appointment. I did that already. They forgot it. All right. Hey, I'm going to say, Mickey, thank you so much. Great job, as
Thanks.
always. Everyone, yes. Give everyone a hand. Yes.
Yay.
Fantastic. Yes. Walter, always a pleasure. Judy, yes. Alex, nice to see Alex. Mike,
Thanks, Paul.
nice to see you, Mike. Yes. Alex, you in Seattle? Yes. 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 Roman, as always. Catherine, nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Nice.
We have another friend from France. I don't know if he's here now, but he's usually at the non-duality meetings. We got JP. Oh, PK. Oh, PK. How could I miss that? There he is. Kurt, nice to see you, Kurt, as always. Jason. Nina. Ah, Nina. There she is. Let me see who else. We got Lucas. We got Catherine. We've got Alex on the iPhone. Zach. Anu. There she is. She's not appearing, but I can feel her presence. I think that's it. Hey, listen, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Paul.
Have whatever day you got. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you so much.
Guys, I think that's it until Saturday. Yeah. All right. See you.
Bye, everybody.
BitSlap.com event page to see whatever we're doing. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Bye.